most companies never escape being merely good. In fact, research shows that out of every 1,400 Fortune 500 companies studied over 4 decades, only 11 made the leap from good to truly great and sustained it for at least 15 years. 11. That number should stop you cold. Because it means that being good, by itself, is not just insufficient. It is actually the enemy of greatness. Welcome to Book Notes Daily. Today we are breaking down one of the most influential business books ever written, Good to Great by Jim Collins. Published in 2001, this book changed how the world thinks about leadership, strategy, and organizational excellence. And the findings inside are not opinions or motivational fluff. They are the result of a 5-year research project involving 21 researchers and deep analysis of decades of company performance data. In the next 10 minutes, you are going to discover the core principles that separate great companies from good ones. And the most counterintuitive insight, the one that completely flips conventional wisdom about leadership, is coming up shortly. Do not skip ahead. Jim Collins and his research team started with a simple question: can a good company become a great company? And if so, what does it actually take? To answer that, they screened 1,435 companies that had appeared on the Fortune 500 list over a 40-year period. They were looking for companies that showed a specific pattern, years of average or below average stock performance, followed by a transition point, and then a dramatic and sustained period of outperforming the market by at least 3 times over 15 years. Only 11 companies made the final cut. Companies like Walgreens, Kimberly-Clark, Nucor Steel, and Abbott Laboratories. These were not glamorous Silicon Valley startups. They were often overlooked, unsexy businesses operating in unglamorous industries. That alone is its first powerful lesson. So what did Collins and his team find? What separated these 11 companies from the rest? They identified 7 core principles. And together, these principles form a framework that any organization, and arguably any individual, can apply to achieve lasting excellence. The first principle is what Collins calls Level 5 leadership. This is the one that shocked everyone. When most people think of great company leadership, they picture bold, charismatic, larger-than-life executives, the kind who appear on magazine covers and give electrifying speeches. Think of the celebrity CEO archetype. But here is what nobody talks about: the leaders of every single good to great company were the opposite of that profile. They were humble, quiet, modest, almost self-effacing. Yet they also had an intense, almost ferocious professional will, a fierce determination to do whatever it took for the company to succeed. Collins calls this combination humility plus will. These leaders did not crave the spotlight. When things went well, they credited their teams and circumstances. When things went poorly, they looked in the mirror, not out the window. This is the highest level of leadership capability Collins identified, and it is the foundation everything else is built upon. The second principle is first who, then what. Most leaders assume you start with a vision or strategy and then find people to execute it. Collins found the great companies did the opposite. Before deciding where to go, they focused obsessively on getting the right people on the bus, the wrong people off the bus, and the right people in the right seats. The strategy came after. Why does this matter? Because if you have the right people, you can adapt to almost any challenge. The wrong people, no matter how clear your strategy, will undermine it every time. Collins found that good to great leaders were rigorous, not ruthless, about personnel decisions. They acted quickly when someone was not working out, but they also went to extraordinary lengths to find and keep great people. The third principle is confronting the brutal facts. Collins calls this the Stockdale paradox, named after Admiral James Stockdale, a prisoner of war in Vietnam. Stockdale survived brutal captivity by holding 2 things simultaneously: an unwavering faith that he would eventually prevail, and a ruthless honesty about the brutal reality of his current situation. The optimists, the ones who said we will be out by Christmas, kept getting crushed when that did not happen. But Stockdale never lost either his faith or his grip on reality. Great companies operate the same way. They maintain absolute belief in their ability to succeed while never, ever pretending the current obstacles are smaller than they are. The fourth principle is the hedgehog concept, and this one is genuinely brilliant. Collins draws from an ancient Greek parable: the fox knows many things, but the hedgehog knows one big thing. Great companies, he found, discovered their one defining insight, the single concept that guided everything they did. The hedgehog concept sits at the intersection of three circles. First, what are you deeply passionate about? Second, what can you be the best in the world at? And third, what drives your economic engine? What single metric, if improved, would have the biggest impact on your financial performance? Walgreens, for example, had a simple hedgehog concept: be the most convenient pharmacy in America, measured by profit per customer visit. Everything they did flowed from that. They were not trying to be all things. They just kept getting better and better at their one thing. This focus, Collins argues, is what separates great from merely good. But here is what nobody talks about when discussing the hedgehog concept. Most companies know what they are passionate about or what they think they can be great at, but they skip the brutal honest question of what they actually have the potential to be best in the world at. Passion without that capability assessment leads to delusion, not greatness. The fifth principle is a culture of discipline. This does not mean a disciplined leader imposing discipline on people. It means building an organization where disciplined people engage in disciplined thought and take disciplined action. When you have that, you do not need bureaucracy. You do not need excessive hierarchy or rigid controls. Freedom and responsibility become two sides of the same coin. Collins found that great companies created cultures where everyone understood what they needed to do and then did it, consistently, without being micromanaged. The sixth principle is technology accelerators. Here is a critical distinction: great companies are not technology pioneers. They do not chase every new technological trend. Instead, they ask, does this technology directly serve our hedgehog concept? If yes, they adopt it aggressively. If not, they ignore it entirely. During the dot-com boom of the late 1990s, companies were throwing money at technology just to appear innovative. Good to great companies were selective and strategic. Technology for them was an accelerator of momentum, never a creator of it. The seventh principle is the flywheel. This may be the most important concept for understanding how greatness is actually built. Collins found there was no single defining moment, no one dramatic decision or miraculous program or killer innovation that caused the transformation in any of these companies. Instead, there was a flywheel. Imagine pushing a massive, heavy wheel. At first, it barely moves. Then it starts to turn. Then faster. Then faster still. Each push builds on the previous one. Eventually the flywheel develops its own momentum. This is exactly how good to great transformations work. Years of consistent effort, each small win building on the last, until suddenly, from the outside, it looks like an overnight success. But insiders know it was the accumulation of hundreds of small, aligned actions over time. What makes the flywheel concept so powerful is its implication for short-term thinking. Organizations and individuals alike often abandon the wheel just before it builds real momentum. They see slow early progress and pivot, change strategy, or give up entirely. The research shows this is catastrophic. Consistency and alignment over time are what create compounding returns. So what does all of this mean for you, whether you are leading a company, a team, a small business, or just your own career? The Good to Great framework offers a clear message. Greatness is not a function of circumstance or luck or even extraordinary talent. It is largely a matter of conscious choice and discipline. Choose the right people. Face reality honestly. Before you go, if you learned something valuable today, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to Book Notes Daily for a brand new video every single day. We will see you in the next one.